Good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday to every out there. Feliz miércoles por mi hermano. It's your Unc. It's time for us to talk to Texas Longhorns. I've got a lot to get into today. I've got my power rankings that I want to reveal to you. Steve Sarkeesian addressed the media on Monday. I got some things that I want to get into. And of course, the thumbnail, the thing that we're going to talk about, it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be the offensive grades at the midway point. We are halfway through the season, 6 games in. So do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun today. All right. Y'all know, every Wednesday, I come out with my power rankings, my SEC power rankings. And I always judge it on where we are this week. I never go on where things might be 2 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now. That requires too much guessing. I'm more about in season, where we are in the moment. And I got my power rankings for y'all. Are y'all ready? You want to hear it? Well, here it go. All right, let's do it. You're going to like this one better than you liked last week's, okay? Here we go! All right. At the number 1 spot, Alabama. Alabama at the number 1 spot. Oklahoma wishes they were at the number 1 spot. Alabama with that 27-24 victory against Missouri. Them being able to pull that off, props to Kalen DeBoer. I was willing to write him off after that FSU loss. But at the end of the day, Kalen DeBoer, he's pulled this team together. This little black hoodie thing is apparently a thing with him. And you know what? I can't be mad at him. Kalen DeBoer, listen, I was down on you initially, and I had every right to be. You lost to Vanderbilt. You lost to Oklahoma in year 1, replacing Nick Saban. Of course, I had every right to feel like I'm not quite sure you're the guy. And of course, you lost to FSU to start the season. So say, I really don't believe you're the guy. But Kalen DeBoer, to your credit, you rallied the troops. I'm with you. Alabama at the number 1 spot. Keep it up, because I'll turn on you in a second. All right, now my number 2 team. I'm sorry, y'all. It is Texas A&M. Look, they went out and they dominated a Florida team, obviously, that with to the point that they lost to them. So, and I look at it and I had to say to myself, okay, well, they beat Notre Dame. They're ranked number 8. They beat Auburn. They beat Mississippi State. They beat Florida. And I have to say, they've got quality wins. Now, Notre Dame is the only one of those teams that are ranked, but at the end, and right now, it doesn't matter. Texas A&M is stacking wins. I know. You're going to say whatever you want to say about them. Is what it is. They're my number 2 team. I got Ole Miss. I actually dropped them a spot after that win against Washington State. Washington State is not really the greatest team at this moment. They beat them 24-21. It is my struggle with Ole Miss is that at the end of the day, Ole Miss sitting at 6-0, they really haven't defeated anybody. But I can't ignore that they're 6-0. But their wins are against Georgia State, trash. Kentucky, I don't know why they struggle with them every year, but they do. They beat Arkansas. These aren't really great teams. They beat Tulane. They beat LSU, which we now all agree is not really that good. And they beat Washington State. They haven't really beat anybody where you say to yourself, well, damn, that team's really, really good. But I'll keep them. Number 4, Georgia. We know the conference wants y'all to win. It's clear. But they beat Auburn 20 to 10. Auburn's a good team. At the end of the day, Georgia won. So it is what it is. Georgia at that number 4 spot. Tennessee, they stay at number 5. They pick up the win against Arkansas, even though Arkansas showed some signs of life with Sam Pittman. But no, not Sam Pittman. No, obviously Sam Pittman is not there. But they showed some signs of life. But at the end of the day, they still ended up losing. So is Bobby Petrino, by the way. I apologize for that. I moved Texas up to the number 6 spot. And look, I put the teams that only have one loss. But at the end of the day, when Texas goes out and they beat Oklahoma, and I can look at this and say, at this quality wins than the teams that I'm ranking them ahead of, I got to put Texas, even though they have 2 losses, I can say to myself, okay, well, they lost against Ohio State. We all know they're pretty damn good. Yeah, they lost against Florida. It's kind of hard to ignore. But they come back the next week and beat Oklahoma. And I have to ask myself, if Texas plays these teams, am I going to favor these other teams versus Texas? The answer is no. And because the answer is no, that's why I put Texas at the number 6 spot. I put them ahead of Vanderbilt. I like Vanderbilt. Y'all know I like Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is cool, but Vanderbilt at this moment, look, I know they playing with house money. Vanderbilt doesn't have that many quality, and because Vanderbilt doesn't have that many quality wins on their resume, and it's crazy to say that about Vanderbilt because they beat South Carolina, but at the end of the day, the bar has been raised, right? So they beat Charleston Southern. The bar has been raised. You expect that. Virginia Tech, kind of expect that. You beat South Carolina. Well, South Carolina sucks. Georgia State, Utah State, and they lost to Alabama. So I look at them and I say to myself, haven't really beat nobody, which is crazy. By the way, Vanderbilt, that's actually a compliment. And you should take that and run to the bank. Missouri, that's cool. But they had that loss against Alabama. Missouri, again, that's a team that I look at and say, okay, you beat Central Arkansas, who cares? You beat Kansas, who cares? You beat Louisiana, you beat South Carolina, UMass, and you lost to Alabama. What should I be happy about? I'm back to where I needed to be with y'all, and y'all are at number 8. Y'all know I don't like Missouri. Mississippi State is who they are, and then they moved them up by a week. It is what it is. And then Oklahoma, I had to drop y'all. I had to drop you. It is what it is. LSU, oh my gosh. Sure, they beat South Carolina, but again, LSU, y'all beat Clemson. We don't think they're good. You beat Florida. I know, but we still don't think they're good. You lost to Ole Miss, and realistically, that's the only team that's ranked at this moment. And then you beat South Carolina. Don't care. So y'all are back where y'all need to be, and I had y'all ranked high a few weeks ago, but I ain't with you anymore. Auburn, I feel for you. You got screwed. But then at the end of the day, y'all are 3-3. You got to move you back. Florida, I moved you back a little bit. I was always a little hesitant, but y'all played against Texas A&M. Y'all didn't show us much. Y'all didn't do a repeat of what you did against Texas. If you would have done that, I would have said to myself, oh, here we go. But you didn't. Kentucky, yeah, I don't think they're that good. I know Texas is going to tell us they're that good. They tell us about their running backs and how they play and you got to say that. Kentucky, you're not that good, but because of everybody else, I blew you up. South Carolina, fighting Shane Beamers. I was so down with y'all before the season. So down with y'all. I was rocking with y'all. Y'all lose to Vanderbilt. Y'all lose to Missouri. Y'all lose to LSU. Ugh. Off. I'm off. I'm done. Done with South Carolina. The fighting Shane Beamer. Shane, I was trying to help you get the Oklahoma job. It is what it is. I was, damn it, you did that. It is what it is. In Arkansas, again, show some signs of life. So you're at the 16th spot. Let's get into start getting into is my mid-season grades. And I asked Sarkeesian a question about where he thought this team was in the mid-season. And he gave me a really profound, good answer. And for those of y'all who missed it, let's go ahead and play it. If you want to hear it, here it go.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
right. Hey, Coach, we're at the midway point of the regular season. I'm kind of curious from your assessment, what are some of the things you say, hey, I really like this about my team? What are some other areas you would say, hey, that's still a little bit of a work in progress?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, psychologically, I like the resolve. And that, I think that that's something that is important, that the resolve of the team. I like the fact that we played as a team Saturday and we were very connected, and that's a powerful thing. It was, and again, that game provides some of that, but the engagement on the sideline, both sides of the ball, once we made our adjustments, everybody was up, everybody was into the game, and that's what it takes. We got to play as a team. And so I'm really pleased with that growth side of it. I like the fact on offense that multiple players are making plays at critical moments. Obviously Trey being back was huge for us, but there's third down conversions here to, I'm trying to find this here. I know I have this note on here, but there's, DeAndre Moore's got 2 third down conversions. Parker has 2 third down conversions. Trey Wisener has 2 third down conversions. Ryan Wingo has a third down conversion. That we're not stuck just forcing the ball to people, that a variety of people are making plays, and there's more there where we got to get Emmett more involved, Jack more involved. So spreading the ball around, I think, is important to us. I feel like, from one week to the next, I know one game doesn't define it, but I think we're finding a little continuity on the offensive line with Nick getting another game under his belt. He's young. He's going to make some mistakes, but I think he provides kind of what DJ provided a couple years for us. There's some energy. There's some attitude, which is good for us, and some rhythm in the run game. I think defensively, the depth we have up front, I think, is starting to show. And this is about the time when depth should start to show itself. And so as much as Colin had 2.5 sacks, had a great game, Brad Spence had a really good game. Lance Jackson had a really good game. And so that depth is starting to show up for us at the line of scrimmage. And I thought what was good for us, we got banged up at corner there where Manny was down for a minute. Jalen Gilbo was down for a minute. We saw growth in Warren Roberson getting put in the fourth quarters in the game and playing in a game like that. So our depth on defense is starting to show up. And, again, when we can, win at the line of scrimmage and eliminate the explosive plays that offenses have down the field and force them to earn the ball, make them earn it down the field, and we can be physical and put hats on people and affect the quarterback, that's a winning formula for us. And I was saying this a few weeks ago. I felt like our punt return unit had a chance to be really explosive, and Ryan had some long returns and hadn't scored. But for that aspect of the game to be a positive one for us was big. I think our ability to control vertical field position with our kickoffs and our punt game has been very good to us. And again, with Mason, he's 3 for 5 Saturday. I mean, the 2 misses, one's from 55, one's from 56. And the 55, he hit it really well. And I mean, it's coming back in. He clips the inside of the upright. That was why I tried the 56, and he didn't hit it great. I hate that for him because I think he's more than capable, but it changes our perspective on maybe how we're going to play, I'd probably be really apt to go for it in that situation on a 4th and 3, but knowing I have him in my back pocket there to kick those field goals changes the math some on how we can play the game. And so
Sark's going to take the points. My Friday shows are going to be amazing. I love it. We got more, but just knowing that Sark's saying like, yo, I think I'm willing to take the points. Sark, you made your boy such a happy guy. Because, every Friday, I'm like, take the points. And when Sark took the points versus Oklahoma, you saw the results, Sark. Me and you. You can hire me. Consultant. I want $500,000.
We're evolving as a team.
Just joking, y'all.
We're learning this team as we go. And we're in a very good position. As I said, we're 1-1 in conference play. Mm-hmm. And, moving on and moving forward, this is an SEC championship game for us. You guys are seeing the records in our conference, and there's a lot that's going to happen. And, a lot of people are going to eat each other here as we go, and we got to control our own business. But I think we're learning our team and our style of play and how we can play moving forward. And so, a lot of positives there that, we can build on, and some things that we need to improve upon for sure. We're not a finished product.
They're not a finished product. But if we see more of the same of what we saw against Oklahoma, they don't have to be perfect. They just have to be that. And if they can do that and look in increase incrementally in other areas, you're going to be happy. All right. Let's get into my midseason grades. We are 6 games in. And here's my only request. I'm going to put myself out there for all the criticisms in the world. But here's my request. I need you to put your midseason grades for every single position in the comments. So if you're going to tell me, hey, I don't agree with your grades, that's fine. No problem. But what I do need you to do is say, well, what's your grades? Let's grade you as well. Let's do it. All right. Midseason grades. Are you ready? 6 games in. Let's do it. Quarterback. There's only one. Arch Manning. My midseason grade is quite simplistically a C. The thing that I find really interesting is that sometimes people just aren't willing to say, you know what? It's not great. It's going to get better. He's making progress. I like what I see. And it could be better. It's the weird thing where I see people trying to double down and try to make it seem like something it's not. We all know that the first few games, it wasn't good. The Florida game, it was better. The Oklahoma game was definitely better. But if we're talking about 6 games and we're judging it in totality as a whole, right now we're probably at a C, which is average, middle of the pack as relates to quarterback rankings, right? So but that's not like an insult to say that, because we know, like, okay, hey, if this is the floor and this is where he's starting at, damn it, man, it's going to get better. And it's okay to say it's probably going to get better. It's not where it needs to be. We don't have to act like, oh, snap, You know what? That 140 something QB rating is higher than this guy. No, it is what it is. But what matters the most is that we believe it's going to get better. And the thing that I believe when I see Arch, especially the last two games, I'm like, he's starting to settle in. He can use his legs. He's going to get outside the pocket. He can do a lot of things. And I look at that thing and I say, man, if he starts to get settled in and he starts to, you see the flashes, I'm like, oh, there might be some teams in trouble. That doesn't mean it's going to happen against Kentucky or Mississippi State. It may not happen towards the end of the year. It may be something that he's building towards the next year. But I can tell you this much. I've seen enough to know, okay, he's got it. It's on the table. All the puzzle pieces are there. Just gotta put it together. When this young dude puts it together, it's going to be legit. For right now, it's a C, but that's the floor. And I'm telling you, it can be higher than that based off of what I've seen. All right. Arch Manning, mid-season grade for me, a C. Now let's move to the running back. Running back, a little bit more harsh, okay? Running back, I'm putting this at a C minus. C minus on? Yeah. Because it took to game 6 for one of the running backs to get a carry over 18 yards. We're at a point where I don't know if there's going to be a running back that gets 1,000 yards in regular season. Now, look, I know some of y'all will say, like, hey, CJ Baxter, he's been hurt. Quintravian Wisener, he's been hurt. He's had a hamstring. I understand all that. But what I can't do, y'all want me to grade on a curve or you want me to grade off what we see? And that what we see is right now, it's a C minus. Now, look, we can get to the end of the year, and that grade could be higher. I ain't sleeping on Wisener. I'm not saying that he can't be productive, and I'm not saying that he can't get to that 1,000-yard mark. It's probably going to take the playoffs, though, for that to happen. But right now, and then understand, and let me tell you this. I understand that prior to Oklahoma, offensive line hasn't been playing good. They were okay against Ohio State. I don't know what happened in those other games after that. But I get it. But at the end of the day, we haven't seen a ton of dynamic stuff from the running backs. It's a C minus for me as relates to that position. But again, kind of like the quarterback, I feel like that grade could be higher. I feel like that grade could be better. And I ain't sleeping on Quintravian Wisener. And I feel like that grade could be better. But me getting to anything higher than that is me projecting and not me living in where I'm currently at if I'm just grading 6 games. So running back, C minus. However, I'm trying to tell y'all, I feel like that grade could be higher. Wide receivers. I feel like I gave y'all the benefit of the doubt here. I really do. Anybody text me, DM me, telling me they think my wide receiver grade was too tough. I'm going to tell you, I gave y'all the benefit of the doubt here a little bit. It is basically it's based off of Parker Livingston. Parker Livingston has been carrying this thing. Now, Ryan Wingo, we saw signs of him. We've seen a little bit from Emmett Mosley. But at the end of the day, it's right there at that adequate, but not necessarily like, ooh. You know, we haven't seen that breakout performance, a ton of 100-yard game performances from this group or this unit. Can it get better? Of course. But if y'all look at this and y'all see this and y'all say to yourself, we don't feel like that grade is adequate. All I would tell you is Y'all got 6 more games in the regular season to say, you know what? Hey, we get to December and we're gonna get on our show and we're gonna say, man, that was some BS. Right now, it's at a C. Can it be better? 100%. But right now, that's where we are. Now, offensive line, that's another one. But see, they didn't play that bad against Ohio State. They played bad for the next 4 games. Started off a little slow against Oklahoma, got better. But overall, I need more games. I need more games. I like what I'm seeing for Nick Brooks. He's looked like he might be settling in. It looks like that offensive line might be settling in. Looks like y'all ain't going to be the ones talking about fire Kyle Flood. Just for the record, I never talked about firing Kyle Flood, but some of y'all did. But right now, it's a C based off of 6 games. Can it be better? That's the great part about the offense. All these grades can get better. All these grades can improve. Right now, the offense is average. Therefore, the grades are average. Can it get better? Absolutely. Tight end, I gave y'all incomplete. I gave y'all incomplete. It's hard to grade. It's hard to grade, y'all. It's not a lot of great pass catching things. I don't see a Jatavian Sanders on this roster. I don't see a Gunnar Helm on this roster. I see some guys who are fighting, who are battling. I get it. But do I see guys that Arch can say that's my guy? That's who I depend on? No. Do I see some good blockers? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, y'all, two tight end sets against Oklahoma. That was fine. That was good. I like that. But I need more. Chuck Andrews has been hurt. There's been a rotation at tight end. It's incomplete for me. Because I've had a grade you, it probably wouldn't be that great. So it's going to be an incomplete for me. There's good guys on this roster. Just need to see more. So for y'all, I am going to withhold a grade. I'm going to say it's incomplete. You got 6 more games. Once we get to the end of the regular season, we'll go from there. Give me your grades for the offense. Put that in the comments there. We talked about a lot today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. 150 plus strong. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll give the defensive grades then. Until then, remember I always say, live each day like it was your last. One day it will be. Go out, do something absolutely special for yourself because you absolutely deserve it. I'll be back. Defensive grades tomorrow. Y'all take care. Peace.